Hey everyone, it's Suey here. I'm going to do a quick tag. This one is called All About My Audiobook Habits and Favorite Audiobooks, which is going to be funny for me to do because I'm not a huge audiobook person. This one was created by BookBuds and I was tagged by Sue Jackson. And I figured maybe I could do this one real quick right now while I have a moment because, like I said, I might not have many answers to these questions. We'll see. Do you listen to audiobooks? If not, why not? I listen to audiobooks sometimes nowadays. I used to not listen to any audiobooks, and why not was because I didn't know why. Why listen to audiobooks when you have music to listen to? I've always said that music is my second biggest passion after books. And so, if I love music so much, why would I dig into my music time to listen to audiobooks when I have my reading time already set up a different part of the day? And so I have to have music time also. Okay? So this is why I am not huge on audiobooks. Also, because audiobooks make me sleepy and I want to close my eyes when I'm listening to them. That can sometimes be a problem, especially if you're driving. That has been my case against audiobooks for a long, long time. I guess there's more to it than that too. I just really like seeing the words. And I think when somebody's reading to me, my brain does not function as well to imagine what's going on. It's hard to explain. Does somebody understand what I'm saying? That's why I haven't been much into audiobooks in the past, but I have come to appreciate them to a certain extent. Maybe we get to that question here in a minute. Let's see. Number 2, has your use of audiobooks changed over time? If so, how? Okay, so yes, I have realized that audiobooks while driving long distances is amazing and it makes time go by really, really fast. And I used to listen to music for that, but I'm realizing audiobooks make the time go by faster. And all of a sudden, hours have gone by and you're just driving along and you're having somebody tell you their story and it's great. It's really, really great. And when I'm doing long drives, which I do often, well, I don't know if everyone else is constantly going on big long drives or not, if it's a rare or regular thing for you guys, but it's a pretty regular thing for me. And I still listen to music. So I will go back and forth between the music and the audiobooks. So my use has changed definitely over time because I used to not even want to do it in the car. But now I'm finding that audiobooks, particularly memoirs, that might be another question, particularly memoirs really can keep my attention while I'm driving, and it's kind of awesome. So it has definitely changed. The last few years, I have had audiobooks in my lineup and I didn't used to have them at all. How do you choose which book will be read versus listened to? So when I'm doing long drives and I'm looking through the Libby to pick some audiobooks, I usually just go for the memoirs. Now, I've been told that I should try to do a regular fiction story and see how I like it. And I think that I should try that by starting with a comfort read or a familiar read, something I've read already, something fairly easy, but I have not done it yet. And I will hover my finger over, these certain books to check out. Then I always default back to a memoir because I know I'm going to be okay with a memoir while I'm driving. I keep talking about driving, but I also am fond of listening to an audiobook while I'm sewing, like on the sewing machine. I don't do crochet or anything like that, but I do sometimes sew with a sewing machine or quilt. I used to quilt, but I haven't done it for so long. But that's something I can do while I'm listening. Audiobooks are great for that too. That's how I choose. I'm just going to go for the ones where I know they're just going to tell me their story and it's just awesome. Number 4, do you look into narrators before you listen or go in blind? So I don't know narrators yet. I am not enough into audiobooks to even know narrators except for Julia Wayland, which everyone's talked about. And so if I were to pick a fictional book to try and listen to sometime in the car or whatever, I will be going in blind. Unless I go to the Julia Wayland list and just pick one of hers because everybody says she's amazing, which I have tried to do before, and I still default back to the memoir. Do you multitask while audiobooking? If so, what else do you do? Okay, I definitely think you have to multitask while audiobooking because otherwise you fall asleep, like I said. So yes, you got to be driving or doing something with your hands. Cleaning, people always say cleaning and dishes. I don't know who cleans and does their dishes this much, because dishes take me about 5 minutes, and cleaning, I'm not doing that much cleaning. Like, why clean your house all day long? To listen to an audiobook? I don't know. For me, cleaning needs music, not audiobooks, okay? You gotta blast the music, and that's when you clean. Doing stuff with your hands, like sewing or crocheting or driving, perfect for audiobooks. I'm trying to think of some other instances when I could listen to an audiobook. I can't really listen to it like while I'm doing anything on the computer. That like I can't listen to it while I'm writing, while I'm editing videos, while I'm doing anything on the computer. It has to be music then. And I can't listen to audiobooks before going to bed. I've tried to do this a little bit. If I do that, then I have to do something on my tablet, like do the coloring apps, because otherwise I would fall asleep. But doing coloring apps while listening to an audiobook is pretty awesome. I really, really love that. Have you guys tried that? Anybody do that? I don't even know what you do with those coloring things after you do them, but it's fun to do them while you're listening. Number 6, if you're reading a series and you listen to the first book, would you ever switch to reading a later book, or they all now need to be listened to? Well, since I haven't done that, I don't know how to answer it, but if I could imagine that it would not matter to me. In fact, if I listened to a book, I probably would rather, and I wanted to keep going, I'd probably read it. I have other thoughts about audiobooks that keep popping into my head. Let me just do the questions first. Number 7, what percentage of the books you're consuming currently are audiobooks? So according to last year, I listened to maybe 8 audiobooks out of the 62 that I did. So we're talking less than 10%. I can't do math. Do you have a favorite narrator, a favorite book that you enjoyed in the audiobook format? So I mentioned Julia Wayland because I know everybody loves her. I'm just assuming she would probably be a favorite if I ever did listen to her. And my favorite books that I enjoy in audiobook format are memoirs, where the subject of the memoir is actually reading and telling us the story. And I've done many that way, and I just love it because it's like they're in your ear telling you their story, and the emotion that they're feeling, that they felt when whatever it is was happening comes out in their voice. So I kind of love it. The other thought I had while I was doing this is we were at book club the other day, and people were like talking about, oh my gosh, I had to read this book. I couldn't listen to it on audio. And I realized that most people at book club are doing audiobooks now. Almost nobody is actually reading. Maybe me and a couple others out of 15 people. And so when they are forced to read a book, it's a whole completely different experience for them. And they realize that it takes them a little longer. And they realize that they have to, figure out how to pronounce names or whatever. And anyway, it was just like this kind of like, oh my gosh, we are all having these totally different experiences because of the format we choose to consume the book. And I hadn't really, understood that concept before, that doing an audiobook is going to make somebody have a completely different experience, and that reading is getting harder and harder for people because of audiobooks. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard for people who are mostly audiobook people to actually read a book. It's painful to them. It's weird. And so I hope I don't ever have audiobooks take over my life to that extent where I'm having a really huge struggle reading. I don't want that to happen. Along with that, like when we're having book discussions for book club, and people will say, well, I didn't really like it because I hated the narrator. And I'll be just like, oh my gosh, this is so weird, because the book has nothing to do with the narrator. You need, it's so weird to not like a book because the narrator was weird or the narrator did weird stuff. And I find it interesting to learn that from people, but it's so interesting, it's so weird to me that people are judging books by the narrators. That is just crazy. Anyway, those are a couple of my audiobook thoughts. I hope that was interesting, even though I'm not a huge audiobook person. I would like a nice balance, and I would like to fit it into my life a little more than just on my long drives or whatever. But I'm telling you, I'm not giving up my music time. I am not giving up my music time. And I really, really, truly want to keep the love of holding or reading a book alive in my life. Yeah, I want to be able to still read and not have a struggle with that like I am seeing some people doing. I will tag some people in the description box below when I edit and I can think of people. Okay, so until next time, happy reading. Bye.